She is a fellow classmate and academic topper, and she also has been writing books. She is a great author. She has written one book by the name Miraki, which is a poetry book, and this session is going to be her on the next summary of the next book upcoming, which is to be published right now. So yeah, I give the mic.
Hello. That was a very kind introduction. Thank you, Ritik. So, I am here to talk about success and happiness. Now, I want to share a story with you that is very, very personal to me, and it is true. So, I had recently passed out of school. I was in the first year here in JNMC, and a very strange occurrence happened in my life that would change the course of my life forever. So it was, I think, really late at night. One of my friends called me. Generally, that never happens, and she said that she's really scared. Now, I did ask her what happened, and she told me that she had been having this accumulating mass-like feeling in her chest, and she went to get it checked. And the doctor said that it might be cancerous. Now, this word completely shook her world. And while she was recommended some diagnostic tests, and while in the waiting room, she called me, and I had nothing to say. I think for the 3 longest hours of my life, I just sat on the other side of the phone, and I could hear the only thing that was going through her mind. What if it is my last day today? What if today I find out that it has gone too far, or I won't be given a second chance, and maybe I have a very few weeks or few days to live. Now, I didn't know much. I didn't know how to console her. I just was there with her. But we started talking about what if today was the last day of our life? How would we live it differently? I mean, I'm going to ask all of you, if for any reason you find out that today itself is going to be your last day, how would you want to live it? What would you want to do? Anybody? I can't see your hands, so if anybody wants to talk, you have to stand. Okay, I know it's a very difficult question. Okay, so if today were your last day, would you want to spend time with your family? Yes?
Yes.
Would you want to spend time with your friends? Would you eat every meal as if it were your last? Would you appreciate everything that you see, you hear, you touch, you feel? So that what success is. That day, my whole persona, my whole view of success changed. At one point of my life, I used to think that if I really wanted to be successful, I wanted to travel the world, have exotic, expensive things, be known to everybody. But at that moment in my life, I thought, is that really success? Is that what I really want with me on my last breath? Or is it something else? I thought about Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa. Were they very rich people, or were they very successful people? And speaking on that, you would have known one of the world's greatest emperor, that was Napoleon, who conquered the whole world. But we don't really see him as a successful person. We don't see him as somebody who gave back to the society. We see him just as a ruler and not as a king and not as a monarch. So that is what I want to talk to you about. That while we have this very limited time here today, why shouldn't we make the best out of it? Because the irony of the situation is none of us really know when our last day is going to be. Still we act like we have an eternity to live, which is far, far from the truth. So that is why I chose this topic today. So I am going to be talking about what my perception of success is and what I think can help you achieve maybe your life's goal. I don't think anything that happens in your life happens just like that. I think everything and anything happens because the universe wants it to happen. Maybe you were dragged out by Ritik here today, or maybe this was compulsory for your class. But nonetheless, you are here, and maybe this will give you a little push that you will need to change your whole life. Maybe you'll find my thoughts interesting, or maybe you'll find your own niche. But at the end of the day, if you have this will that I need to do something to change my situation, that if tomorrow I were to die, I don't want to have any regrets, then maybe this is the push that you really need. So I'm going to be talking about the 5 levels of success. Abraham Maslow came up with this theory long time ago, and it talks about 5 basic levels. The first level being physiological needs. Now my mother always used to tell me, drink 1 meal a day, don't eat it, drink 1 meal a day. The thing is, we take our nourishment, our nutrition really for granted. We eat, we talk, while we are talking, we've never really tasted what food is like. If I can tell you one thing, I mean, by the end of the presentation, it will be 10 things. And I think if you do it every day, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, you will find your true purpose. So the first thing I would say is drink 1 meal a day. Chew it so fully without looking into your phones. If mess is too crowded, maybe you could have a fruit in your room. But taste the texture, taste the food, and eat it as if you were drinking it. The same holds for water. Water is there throughout our body. We know we are mostly made up of water. It has memory. It has gotten passed through generations. And if you know, water has memory. The same water that existed for your ancestors, my ancestors, for generations is the same water you drink. The same water connects you to so many levels in the universe. I bet nobody really thought about drinking water that, oh my god, it's an experience in itself. So every day, at least drink 1 meal and eat 1 glass of water. Now, one of the very essential things that has worked for me is breathing. I mean, we all breathe 12 to 16 times a minute, like we all study, and that counts about 20,000 times a day. But how many of those times do we really know that we are breathing? Breathing is life for you. Breathing is what makes you you. So I think at least every day, 3 breaths you should take voluntarily. So we can do it right now. Take 3 deep breaths with me. It gives me so much calm, and I think it would work for so many of you. Minimize to maximize. We all have a lot of clothes, we all have a lot of things. We clutter our houses, we clutter our lives, and in some way we clutter our own minds. How to reduce it? Whenever you buy something new, I urge you to give out the same number of things. Like if I went out, bought 2 pair of jeans, I would donate 2 pair of jeans. That way, I maintain my wardrobe and I also give back to the community. And it declutters my wardrobe as well as my mind. Because the more minimalistic you become, maybe normal for you is 100 clothes, but make sure you know what your normal is. So that will help you have more control over your life. The second level I talk about is safety needs. Safety needs is what you do for a living. Like, I think all of us here are medical professionals. Maybe you really wanted to be a medical professional. Maybe your parents really wanted you to be a medical professional. But either way, you are here. Some of you may really, really love your work. Some of you may not. But the thing is, to make the best of our time here, we have to find our loving place in what we do every day, because you do realize that most of our times we are at work or we are studying or we are preparing for something. So how to have that sense of comfort in our work? My mother has always told this to me: success is like a house. The niche or the floor is made out of physiological needs, where you also put your monetary needs. The walls are built up of love, and the roof is made with your peace. So if you invest too much on the floor, when it's going to rain, the rain is still going to pour on your head. It's very important to balance everything out. I want to tell you a few methods that will really help you have a better work life. First is gratitude. It is the easiest and most effective way to manifest anything and everything in your life. If you're grateful for what you have, having an opportunity to talk to the patients, listen to somebody's problem, give your advice, then you have a very different feeling surrounding your work. It's not just going to the hospital, it's not just completing journals. It is something more. It gives you a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging in this world. And I don't think it's something to be taken for granted. Honor your commitments. The best way to master any subject is to break it down. We all know nothing good comes from mugging everything at the last day of the exam. And sacrificing your sleep is never an option. At least it never works in the long run. So make sure that you make small plans every day. Write things down. When you write anything down, it is better than just thinking it in your head, because you've already halfway accomplished it. So always write your plans. Maybe put two tasks less. But make sure at the end of the day you honor your own commitments. You take or you cross it, and then you see your own growth and your own goals. Be regular. It is very, very, very essential to be regular. Even if you want to study an hour a day, or if you want to pursue a hobby an hour a day, or if you don't have time, maybe in PG life we hardly get 1 or 2 hours a week, but make sure that you're regular. If you are pursuing a hobby or studies or anything, make sure that you do it every single day, because it is better to study half an hour a week than to study at a stretch for 6 hours. And I'm telling you this with experience that I'm in 3rd year of MBBS, and I have realized that how important it is to break it down into smaller chunks, whether it is studying or pursuing any hobby. Embrace uncertainty. Now, growth is like a tree. You are a small seed, and you have to overcome the winds, the air, and first of all, develop roots. You are not going to see success in 1 or 2 days. It may take days, months, even years for some people. But that doesn't mean that you give up. It means that you embrace the fact that nothing in life is constant, that things change, and that you have to be okay with it. And take pride in what you do. It is, I think, the most important thing here. Whatever you do, whenever you do it, make sure you do it with all your heart and all your love. Because if you don't take pride in what you do, it's not really worth doing. Now, 3rd level we have is security and belonging. We all want to feel a sense of love, a sense of belonging, be it with our families, be it with our friends. So, most of the time what happens is we focus a lot on our work. Or maybe we say we don't have time, but we still end up texting the whole day. And we realize that we have neither worked nor we have good equations with the people who we love. So how to build a better relationship with people who really, really matter in your life? First is give them your undivided attention. One thing I've realized coming here is that you don't really have a lot of time with your friends. The time you have has to be concentrated in comparison to what I used to get in school. So my method is, if you are talking to your friend, even if it is for 10 minutes, never ever touch your phone. Don't talk about somebody else. Don't touch your phone. Give them those 5 minutes or 10 minutes of undivided attention, and I promise you it's better than 2 hours of communication, because what you hear in those 5 minutes will be more than enough for you guys to have a conversation, and it's something that's always helped me. Okay, and conscious compliments. Now, we have this habit of keeping things to ourselves. We don't appreciate people. Even if we think highly of them, how many people will really come up and say to you, yes, you did a good job. But I think it would change the entire course of the day for that other person. So I really want to tell you to normalize giving compliments. It should come very naturally. It doesn't have to be a big occasion, like you look good today, or you look very fresh, or it's good job on doing that thing on time. Small things. Wow, you really went to the gym today? That's amazing. I mean, small accomplishments have to be celebrated, because our life is really about the small moments. Everyone is going to congratulate you if you achieve something big. But the real lifesavers and the real cheerleaders are those people who appreciate small accomplishments in your life. Going to morning class on time, completing a journal, going to hospital on time. There's so small things. Completing a history on time, giving a heartfelt, talk, having a heartfelt talk with a patient, or congratulating somebody on very small things. I think would really help you feel better and would truly make the day of someone else. And when we talk about belongingness, one thing is there are people in our society who work way harder than we can ever imagine. Whenever you walk past a guard uncle or a moshi, make sure that you give them a smile. Because these are the guys who are having one of the very hard days. It's not easy to do the jobs that they do. And being professors or teacher, of course, we are going to respect them. But the people who also need our respect are the people who make our everyday life things really better. So next time you pass by guard uncle or you pass by Moshi, just give them a smile. I mean, you don't really have to have a very long conversation. Just a smile is really going to make their day. The fourth is about self-esteem. Now, self-esteem is how we see ourselves. Maybe my name is Rasika, I am in third phase, I am going to be a doctor. Is this really who I am? Is this what my self-esteem is all about? My name, my class, my achievements? Or is there much more to that? So, something I've learned in my life is that there is a huge universe with many galaxies. In those many galaxies, there is one Milky Way. In that one Milky Way, there's one Earth. Small continent, small country, small state, small city, small college, and then there is you. What self-esteem do you have? The thing is that we give ourselves too much privilege. This is who I am, this is what I want to be. How dare she say that about me? It's not really about that. We anyway aren't anything. Even if you become the greatest man on earth, still you're going to die. It doesn't really matter, and you're going to forget it also. So the thing is to live every day rather than to set up a standard for yourself and try to push yourself and be really hard on yourself to achieve it. It doesn't work in long run. So when it comes to self-esteem, realize that you are a very tiny speck, not even microscopic in this universe. And even if this whole galaxy were to disappear, nobody would even care. So don't give yourself too much importance. It's very important to be humble in life, because really we will never amount to anything. It's just the life that we live that will matter. And only to us probably. Realize who you are and what you are. Empathize. If somebody is mean to you, always empathize with them, because it really takes something to be mean to somebody. It's not easy. I'm telling you, the guilt that they feel later is worse than what they've said to you. So anytime somebody says something really mean to you, take a moment and empathize. This person is going to feel really bad. Look within. Sometimes what happens is, what really hurts us is what really matters. If I think too much about my looks, my hair, my weight, and somebody says something about that, it's really going to hurt me. That is because it comes from within. It is my own insecurity. So anytime somebody says something to you that you really take to heart, take a moment, think about, is it something that I have to work on? Is it something that's my Achilles heel and I need to work on it to turn it into my forte or turn it into an asset? And if not, then just brush it off. Just tap on your shoulders, let it fly away like that. Don't let it get too personal. And being one, like I talked about, we are very tiny people. We have to follow the path of love and we have to embrace each other before, pulling each other down and taking into things like, of course, we all see social media and it becomes difficult sometimes. The last thing is level 5, that is oneness with the world. The goal of our life is to follow our dharma. Dharma is the purpose of your life. You may know it right now, you may not know it right now. But the more you concentrate, the more you meditate. Meditation is nothing but being in the present. If you are holding on to a book and reading, do just that. If you're talking to a friend, do just that. If you're watching a movie, playing a sport, do just that. It's nothing short of meditation. Meditation is just being in the present. It is like following your own dharma, doing your karma. With Ananda, Ananda is happiness. Whatever you do, make sure that you do it with love and you do it with happiness. That is Ananda. And the last is Samarpan. Samarpan is letting go and accepting that not everything is in your hands. Accepting that you are not so powerful as to manage the whole universe. And maybe things are pre-decided, maybe things are not pre-decided. But whatever happens, it's a part of your journey. I think that is how one reaches self-actualization and one reaches samadhi. Samadhi is nothing but death. Death as in fulfilling your life so much every day that if you were to die tomorrow, you wouldn't regret losing that day. You wouldn't think I could have done something differently because you know that every single day you've lived and you've lived well. So I would like to tell you summarize the 10 things that I think you should do. The first would be breathe 3 times, eat each meal, drink each meal, try to eat water as food. Then talk about building self-esteem, take things lightly, give somebody undivided attention, talk to your family. And something I would end with, that is, this is one of the songs my mother still sings a lot. It's called Khoon Pasina Bahata Ja. ये जिंदगी खून पसीना बहाता जा या तान के चादर सोता जा. ये जिंदगी तो एक नाव है, ये जिंदगी तो एक नाव है, तो हंसता जा या रोता जा. It loosely translates to that it's on you. Work hard when you want to work hard. Sleep when it's time to rest. The life is like a boat. It keeps on flowing, whether you laugh or whether you cry. The life is going to go on. The choice always rests in you on how you want to live it, on how you want to spend each day, each hour, each minute, each second. Because eventually the day is going to end, the sun's going to go down. And it will be on you how you chose to live that day. Thank you so much.